We continue to digest the news that Brian Hartline is leaving Ohio State as their offensive coordinator to become the new head coach of South Florida football. After all the rumors about Penn State, Florida, Kentucky, Hartline finally gets his gig at South Florida. He will leave the Buckeyes after the college football playoff run and the Big Ten title game. That's right, Hartline will still call plays for those and try and help with some recruits, as that's a bit of a mess right now. So I know fans are upset. It's a tough situation, but we are going to take the there's more fish in the sea approach and break down the candidates to replace Brian Hartline in just a second. First, let's say a thank you. Brian Hartline bleeds scarlet and gray, played here, coached here, did great things here. Right now, take the chance to say thank you by hitting that thumbs up, liking the video. One last note. This is a major loss for Ohio State. I know a lot of you guys have left the comment. It is more about the program. It's not about one person. It's not about Ryan Day. It's not about Jeremiah Smith. It's not about Brian Hartline. However, this is a major loss. You have gotten elite wide receivers year after year after year. 4 number 1 wide receivers since 2020, and they've developed into great players. That's what Brian Hartline has done for Ohio State, a young and up-and-coming mind in play calling and football in general. I think it's a major loss. However, I understand the Buckeyes are a major program, historic program. They will replace Brian Hartline. I just wanted to note, I do think it would be and is a major loss for Ohio State. However, we move forward. Options to replace Brian Hartline right now. Look, these are my top 10. Both from what I've seen, read, looked at, my personal thoughts. Some of these, the explanation is just going to be, why not? Could be interesting, could be fun. There's a mini connection there, right? And the first one we are going to talk about here, Santonio Holmes, former Buckeye. Did you know he's a wide receivers coach at Central State University? At the most, he would be the offensive coordinator, work with Ryan Day, bring that Buckeye experience. At the least, slide him into that wide receiver coach's role and move someone else up. Right? I think Santonio Holmes would be an interesting option for Ohio State. Now, the next name we are going to discuss. Yes, recently fired Brian Daboll, the former head coach of the New York Giants. Thing with Daboll is connections all around. That's my feeling and my thought about getting him to Ohio State as the new offensive coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator for Nick Saban at Alabama. He's worked with Matt Patricia with the New England Patriots, and of course, still in and around the game of football, calling plays, being a part of offenses. I think all the right connections are there for Brian Daboll to be considered for that offensive coordinator job. I do think it would be a very plug-and-play scenario. Shout out the University of Mount Union. Jason Candle, the current head coach of the Toledo Rockets. No, he's not coaching Mount Union, but he did play at Mount Union, and he's a part of that Karras coaching tree. If you know, you know. Nick Sirianni played and coached at Mount Union. Larry and Vince Karras, obviously iconic names in the Ohio area, especially in college football. Jason Candle played there, coached there, doing very well, winning multiple MAC titles at Toledo. Highly efficient offenses. Definitely being eyed for other head coaching jobs. But hey, if he just wants to move up overall, take that next step, Ohio State would be perfect. All right. Do you remember the nice blonde man from UCLA that everyone thought was the head coach? That is Jerry Neuheisel. After the firings and drama and everything going on at UCLA, the Bruins went on a little bit of a run, right? They won 3 of 4. They were winning games, back to 500. Neuheisel, everyone thought he was the head coach. That's how good Jerry was doing. There's a picture of Ryan Day and Jerry talking after the UCLA game. No, UCLA wasn't good against Ohio State, but no Nico. And I mean, it is what it is, right? I believe this is actually a flashy, big name, splash hire at the offensive coordinator position. Like Jason Candle, Neuheisel would be a trying to move up, trying to step up, better talent, better program situation. So I am interested in that one, and we'll keep an eye on Jerry Neuheisel. J.T. Barrett. That's not my best Gus Johnson impression. Just wanted to throw that out there. Did you know he's the quarterback's coach of the Chicago Bears? Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. Yes, he is in the coaching world. He has coaching experience. He was with Detroit as an assistant offensive coach and quarterback's coach. Now he's coaching Caleb Williams. Bring a legend home. Why not? Bring him in, have him call plays. He loves Columbus. Columbus loves him. Ryan Day's worked with him. He knows the type of leader, smart quarterback that JT Barrett is. So those are my first 5 options to replace Brian Hartline for the job. However, I want to hear from you. Maybe it's a name I gave you. Maybe it's a name you already had in mind. Maybe it's a name I haven't said yet. Who do you think should replace Brian Hartline as the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes? Drop it down below. Joe Moorhead. Yes, that's right. You're seeing an Akron Zips symbol there. Look, he has experience Oregon, Mississippi State, other big-name colleges as an offensive coordinator in the past. He's underachieved at Akron. My thought is if Ryan Day doesn't want to bring in a young, inexperienced coordinator that needs to go through the new motions and learning and this and that, he just wants another adult in the room, a person who's been through the same things that Ryan Day has. I think he would go with a guy like Moorhead. Maybe not Moorhead exactly, but a guy like Moorhead. Ryan Day. Interesting pick here, right? How does that make any sense? Easy pick here. Just go back to calling plays. That is my thought with Ryan Day. You kind of think about the journey he's been through a little bit. We all know the narrative that he's taken more of a CEO role for Ohio State beginning last year into this year, giving up play calling for the betterment of the program. I believe that. I think it's a good thing for Ohio State. I do think it's a real and viable option that Ryan Day puts, a wide receivers coach or an outside wide receivers coach at that offensive coordinator position, but he steps back in and starts calling plays for the Buckeyes. We will finish out the list in just a second here, but I do want to let you guys know this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. You got bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which games to watch even, there is one place where it feels good to be right. Prize Picks. Simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. You can follow other players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. You can be a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab. I copied this from producer Aiden. Set for the Big Ten title game. Bo Jackson, Fernando Mendoza. More on Jackson's rushing and receiving yards at 86.5. Less on Mendoza. You're going against the Buckeye defense. You got to deal with that less button. 210 passing yards. I took less on that. Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. So if you want flexibility, you can choose Flex Play, where you get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter how you play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. We continue and finish out the top 10 candidates to replace Brian Hartline as the offensive coordinator for Ohio State. Next up is Tommy Rees with no E, currently the Browns offensive coordinator. This would be a life raft thrown to Tommy Rees to get out of Cleveland. He's worked with the best. He has the experience. I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he's a great play caller, so working with Stefanski is great. Play calling with Nick Saban's great. And look, say what you want about Brian Kelly. I think Brian Kelly's a solid college football coach. So to work for those 3 people and a sinking ship in Cleveland, and believe me, it is sinking. Good opportunity for Tommy Rees at the end of the year, whether it be the whole staff gets let go or Rees just says, hey, it's just not working here. There's no sign of hope here in Cleveland. I'm going to move to Ohio State and get a good qualified job as an offensive coordinator. I think that's a very viable option. Guys, get us there. Get us there. Get us there. We've been trying to get to 20,000 subscribers for the past video or 2. We are extremely close. All we need is 150, so be sure to hit that sub button so we can hit 20,000 subscribers here on the Ohio State Football Report. What about an internal hire? Not such a crazy idea, right? If you listen to Ohio State media, whether it be us here on the Ohio State Football Report, different podcasts, different shows, Keenan Bailey's name has been mentioned time and time again as a future college football coach. It's been a shakeup. There's been changes in Ohio State's program. This would be the next logical step for Ohio State's tight ends coach. Yes, that is Keenan Bailey. Spencer Holbrook of Letterman Row, noting a little bit about it. He had his own ideas for candidates. He agreed. Bailey's one of them. He's already in the building and has the trust from Day and the rest of the Ohio State offensive brain trust. Bailey has worked extensively with every position on the field and on the ball with the Buckeyes, have been a repeated priority to keep in the Woody Hayes Athletic Center in each of the last few seasons. Final note on Bailey here. This is a good example of the coaching ecosystem, right? You don't want to rock the boat. You like that plug and play. You like keeping everyone happy or feeling like they know what's going on. Good opportunity to take somebody who's in the building, give them a promotion, as opposed to bringing in a Jerry Neuheisel and shaking things up. No, I didn't forget Chip Kelly. I know that's everybody's main option, number one, right? He was just here. They won a national title with him, right? Plug and play Chip Kelly. It's my number one. Question is it your number one? If you think the Buckeyes should just bring Chip Kelly back, make him the offensive coordinator, tell him, hey, you won't get fired if you just do a good job and handle this offense, fine. Hit the comment section and comment Chip if you believe the Buckeyes should bring Chip Kelly back. Now, the Raiders fired Chip Kelly back in November. I do think this is worth noting. It's part of the journey, right? It could convince him to come back to college and or not want to, do this, that, or the other in college. I'm not really sure. He's getting paid the highest offensive coordinator salary in the NFL at $6 million, and he didn't make it 11 games. I don't know if Buckeye fans consider that much or if they just revert to how good the offense was last year, right? The Buckeyes scoring points, racking up yards, winning national titles. How can you have any complaints about Chip Kelly? Got to find your answer here. Yes, Hartline will be back to finish out the Big Ten title and the college football playoff run. However, it is a situation where you cannot hesitate. This is about recruiting. This is about the transfer portal. This is about the future of Ohio State. I trust Ryan Day. Go out there and get your next offensive coordinator.